rock. We are live. And we are live
in
from
Myeongdong.
Myeongdo?
Yeah.
Myeongdo, Seoul.
A twosome place.
Yeah, a twosome place. We gotta wait till someone pops on before we really get going. We'll just sit here for a couple minutes.
Well, actually, we're gonna eat some of this
Yeah,
amazing
let's-
dessert.
Let's show
Don't
this.
don't forget that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, all right, that's big.
And it's filmed in the line.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna just taste this.
Yeah.
Pass these desserts
We are,
all the time, and I never try one.
Can you just show the camera what you're eating there? It's just
Well,
yeah.
Here's one.
Mango.
This is mango.
This is icebox
Icebox cake.
cookie and cream.
Oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay,
try
so
this
we're
one.
just getting started here. Hey, can you just pop into YouTube for a second? Hey, so listen, we're here in Seoul.
That's good. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's very important.
It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have a hard time. And with Soomin Kim, and
Great.
Laurie.
The great. Soomin Kim the Great.
The great.
Laurie the Great.
Soomin the Great and Laurie the Great. And Soomin, hey, how do we? What's? Hey, first off, how's the audio? Good. Yeah. Okay.
Audio good?
Hey, talk about how we know each other a little bit.
Wait,
When did you meet?
When did we meet?
I think it was like 2020 or 21. So
Wait, you met before Sam came to Korea?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
It
like a
was-
year and a half
I
before.
asked him to do the interview via Zoom for I think it was my first documentary all about the booming of Korean content and
Ah.
Korean wave.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
And I saw, just like other Koreans, I watched the video of Sam talking all about Korea through his class. And I tried to find the emails of Sam. And I just sent him a message. Can you be on my documentary? I'm directing the first documentary. It was my first project
Wow.
For Arirang.
for Arirang,
Yeah.
Arirang TV. So Arirang is like an international broadcasting station.
It's the English speaking channel.
Yeah, English
like news
speaking
and
channel.
broadcasting channel out of Korea. So it's like the CNN of Korea, or like every country has one in English.
Mm-hmm.
So that I forgot it was a documentary.
It was a doc, and actually it started off with you speaking about BTS.
Really?
Yeah, BTS.
You mean from
yeah.
class? The clip from class?
Clip from class.
Okay.
And you need to focus on the country,
Yeah.
Asia, and like if I had kids, I even remember the words that you said.
Yeah.
Say it actually.
So if I had kids, I would not send them to Europe or other countries. I would send them to Korea.
Oh wow!
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Man, that was so like pressing it, you know? It was so visionary in a way. I have so many predictions I make in the world. Laurie will know.
Yes.
How many? Every
I
day?
don't know. Maybe.
Multiple times
Could
a
be.
day?
Yeah.
So how many times do you get it right?
Once?
I don't know. That's not true. You get some big things right. You do.
Yeah.
You do. But that wasn't really a prediction as much as it just was this spontaneous movement through you about Korea and culture and the future.
Yeah.
The audio guy.
I'm going to pull this out of your...
Okay.
Hang on. Yeah. Audio people know.
Whoa, it's 3:45 a.m. here in Kansas City.
Whoa.
There's a lot of people watching.
Yeah.
13.
13
Still, it's-
humans.
They'll
10:46
There we go.
a.m.
Yeah.
It's early.
Yeah, very cool.
Someone's looking off in Arirang,
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Germany. That's good to hear.
okay, I'm going to hear
Yeah,
all of
very
this.
cool. Hey, so we will go, and then what's going to happen is the recording will just stay on, and then people will watch the recording.
Yeah, that's all our
transfer.
memories, and
Yeah.
we can remember the talks that we did.
So hey, and if there are any questions on there that we should respond to, let us know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this was the documentary. We did the interview, and then
And then COVID happened,
Oh.
right? Or was it during
And
COVID?
then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And Sam got to visit Korea for the first time.
In 2022.
2022 or 21, like 22 maybe.
I think it was 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that time I was sending him an email that the documentary went smooth.
Ah.
Maybe when you come to Korea, we could have a chance to meet, or the other way
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And then that was the day that you were in Korea.
Oh.
The second day I arrived.
Yeah,
I
and-
arrived.
So he was actually here when you sent
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
he
God.
said, do you want to go out for dinner?
Yeah, what are you doing tonight?
Like 2 hours later, we meet. And I really wanted to meet Sam in person, so I actually had to cancel my other dinner plan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you had other.
Yeah.
But I need to go there.
That's so funny.
And then we had barbecue
Okay.
and soju and
Okay.
beer. Yeah, that was cool. Then I had to wrestle her to make me pay, to allow me to pay. We arm wrestled.
And what was your first impression of that conversation? Of him through
Of
that
him?
kind of interpersonal moment?
Honestly, he was just like the video, but if I go a little more deeper, he asked me the questions that no other Korean adults would ask. So like some difficult questions to answer, like if you have a boyfriend, anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But I got to be really honest with him. Like I told him from A to Z.
Yeah. I think because, it's just so easy for me to, like for both of us, to ask the kinds of questions that, well, that's what we do. We work with young people. Yeah.
I think maybe I would say we just are interested in the real life of
Right.
humans, ourselves and other
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
It seems so strange to be with someone and not to ask or to just talk about our lives,
Yeah.
each other's lives,
No.
That's just me. I know that a lot of people don't do it that way,
But it's really hard to kind of bring up those topics on like what's up with your families or your job or like how much do you get paid or anything like that, right?
Yeah. Some of those. Yeah.
That's the beauty of being an American, I think. In general, Americans are going to be much more open. Many cultures are, but in general, Americans are. But the two of us in particular, Laurie and I, but me in particular, I'm going to just go right into the whatever questions. It doesn't matter. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Much to Laurie's dude, you can't ask that. So then, so that was cool. Then we just, I was really happy when you responded, because I'm like, hey, man. I remember that after we did the interview for the documentary, I remember, I made a note to myself about you, and we had a really nice conversation, just very real. I felt very connected, and so, you were very open. And so, that was nice. Yeah. What,
And then we stayed connected through Kakao.
Yeah, then we were on Kaltok.
And time to time, you were asking me question about what's happening in Korea.
Yeah.
What's this phenomenon about?
Yeah.
What are up with these people?
Yeah. Yeah, you became an important source of information for me.
Also, and I would guess now that I know you myself. Oops, sorry, I'm hitting the mic. Now that I know you myself, you are so insightful and so bicultural. This is like what we were talking to Gi Hyun about himself. But it's amazing how much you just absorbed of Western culture and also just the language, right? I never have a moment with you where you're not you understand things so subtly. Yeah, it's really profound. So you're quite a bridge between cultures and worlds. And your mom was actually very right when she sent you to Canada.
Thank you, Mom.
That's right. Thank you. The world needs people like Soomin.
I hope my mom watches this.
We'll have to point it out to her.
No,
but that's really,
cool.
it's really deep. So I guess you saw that immediately.
Yeah, I saw that, and then we just had a nice connection. Like it's nice for me. I never felt like you were like in awe of me or something. Like sometimes people are with professors and all that.
That distance, that formal distance.
Because I was asking advice on the first day I met him on how I could handle my family and everything. We just kind of became like friends.
I would say that.
Yeah, it felt like a friendship. No, it was a friendship. I mean, no, it felt to me like, okay, Soomin's now my friend. So, and like, I have that. Both of us have this. I think it's a little more with me than you because people don't meet Laurie in this big space.
Oh.
She's not a big personality in a big space, right? She's they meet her as a very real person. That's for some people. They hear about Laurie ahead of time, like at World in Conversation. She's this mythical figure who's really intense and like really intense. Like what students hear is like you're never going to have a conversation with Laurie that's not intense in some way. That's just kind of what it is. So people then they get prepared for that, and then she walks in the room and they're aware that that's what they're going to get. But not like me, so a lot of people meet both of us ahead of time. And they automatically have certain walls.
I'm
walls.
surprised,
what would you call it?
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I never feel that too much.
Maybe it's not walls, but there's like they
maybe
they're
with,
not,
certainly with you.
they can't
Definitely
be
with you.
themselves.
Yeah.
But if I think about your facilitating the conversation, sometimes it might be hard and I have to have certain minds to get into that conversation. Maybe like having thoughts like, could I answer those questions? Having some kind of worries at the beginning. But if I just join the conversation, I think I could totally answer what you facilitate.
Yeah, once you meet Laurie,
Laurie,
it doesn't take very long before you're like, okay.
You know what's funny is I can never answer the questions. I mean, actually, I'm a facilitator because I want people to facilitate me. I think that's what it ultimately is.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, Laurie's always wanting me to ask her questions, and I'm like, I don't ask very good questions. Really. I mean, they're okay. The bar's pretty low for someone in my place of work, that kind of thing. But compared to the bar, it's really high for.
You don't have to say it like
no,
that.
you just ask really good questions. I mean, it's just to happen today. We're going to do this conversation at Kongguk tomorrow, and bring students up on stage. We're going to live stream it, by the way, tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that's gonna be
Korea
nice.
time, 3:00, and we will. I came up, I'd have a few questions, and Laurie just like, boom, here's this question, boom, here's the next question, boom,
I
it's like,
imagine that.
yeah, and I know the way that she scripts them is the best possible way to ask them. Not every single time, but most of the time. Yeah. So anyway, that's okay, so next question.
I have one.
You have
go
one?
ahead,
All right,
go ahead.
So since we talk so much about like even about elders in Korea and everything, I wonder if we make like Korean channel for Sam's YouTube, would people watch it?
No. I don't know. I think that what would keep people from watching it is the language.
Language.
Lots of older Koreans, really. The fan base here is definitely not young people.
Oh.
Yeah, it's people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and sometimes 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Even somebody just recognized you
Yeah, and
many times.
Yeah, it's happening a
that
lot.
woman just a little bit ago was probably 40, maybe.
40 and 50. Yeah.
Yeah. The couple over there recognized me. The ones in the hats.
Oh.
Yeah, they did. Because what happens is people will see and then they look and then they'll get their phone out and start like scrolling through their phone. And
That's that
happens
guy.
a lot. And then somebody else on the other side of the restaurant also, when I walked over there, they were like, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But, okay.
Wait, did you ask the question? Did you just ask a question, or were you going to ask a question?
No, I think that was a question.
Oh, okay.
What do you, Soomin, see in our, like Laurie and I, when we're here together in Korea? You've had a lot of time. You spent a lot of time with us because we've been working on this documentary on the birth rate with EBS, and Soomin is what I consider to be our creative director here in Korea. So like there are a lot of when I have some kind of project, I'll bounce it off of her to say, hey, what do you think about this? And then so she got involved in this documentary as a way to help. Laurie and I are co-hosts of this big 3-part series on the birth rate and marriage, but mostly the birth rate. And but needed you because I'm like, I trust Soomin. Like your vision, I trust it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was all your ideas, though.
No, but I was going to disagree a little bit with not just bounce off of Soomin. Like Soomin shapes the ideas.
Shapes the
So yeah,
ideas.
first there's like a bouncing, like what do you think about this, etc. In the Korean context, like obviously you have that.
For me,
vision.
I'm just giving you like ideas or context of information.
Yeah, but there's also a trust thing, right? So it's like, can we do we trust? Hey, wait, do me a favor. Hang on.
Secrets.
Message to David and Ruben. Hey, jump up.
You
Sam,
have your
we're
mic
live
on.
streaming from Korea.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have your mic
You
on.
both have your mic
I
on.
know. Yeah, 'cause just a message just popped up.
Oh.
Can you use your phone and just get on WhatsApp? You know
Okay.
the address, right?
No, yeah, but
No, just do it.
But
Let's
wait,
see
but
what
I guess I'm just worried about what just happened because you have your mic on and this is what you do in
No,
social
but that's
19.
why.
No, I just want to say.
I'm sure it didn't come. Ask. Hey, did you hear what I said to Laurie in Laurie's ear? Yeah.
Well, who's going to respond?
Let me see if someone responds. Did you hear when I reached over and talked in Laurie's ear? Did you hear what I was saying? I don't think they did. I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, this is not Coca-Cola, it's an iced coffee.
Yeah.
Wait, you thought it was Coca-Cola?
No, someone was saying that
okay.
seeing someone drink Coca-Cola wants me to drink it.
Iced coffee is a really big thing here in Korea.
Iced coffee.
Man.
It's like a drink that you buy when you go before your office
And you have it all day.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that at home as well. in the
Yeah,
US.
we do it home, but I think it's more popular here.
You do?
In Korea. Yeah.
Maybe so.
Iced coffee.
I haven't taken any surveys.
You know what? Maybe it's not. I don't know.
We can
but-
look it up, Sam.
Well, starting off coffee.
Coffee.
You can't anywhere you go
Yeah, no,
in the
there-
city of Seoul, and you
Yeah.
just turn your head, you're gonna see a coffee shop. And sometimes you turn this
Wait.
way, there's one. This way, there's one, and
Often.
this way, there's two.
Often, very often. Before I came here for the first time, I said to Sam, "Are there coffee shops?" Because I was picturing a tea culture before I came here, and he was like, "Yeah, there's coffee shops." And he said where he was staying and that there's one in the hotel
4 of
itself.
them.
4 of them.
4 of them, right?
Yeah, four.
And
brands.
I cannot believe how many coffee shops are here. It is unbelievable. It's like one per person. It's what it
Yeah.
seems like.
And
Yeah.
you guys have some place at your
Yeah,
hotel, right?
yeah, at the
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
base, yeah.
No, there's 2 coffee places, and then there's this, a twosome place, which is 3.
When I was in Japan in 2008, I was blown away by how many coffee shops there were. And once again,
In Japan?
I
Oh.
thought like, wait, Japan's a tea culture, right? And I'm like, oh man, so much coffee and good coffee. But okay, so wait, I have a question for you. Do you know the address?
Yeah, there's a website, right?
You go to youtube.com. No, I'm gonna
Go ahead, you just do it.
All right, you guys go.
We'll keep the conversation going, Sam.
You could do it.
This is like, I could eat this in just 2 bites and be done.
You can?
No, but I won't. I will not. But chocolate and sweets
For
are...
me, finishing this cake is such a difficult thing.
Really? Because...
Even without iced coffee, I can't have dessert. It's too sweet.
It's too... Yeah, I never have that issue.
You don't?
Never. Yeah, nothing. I mean, no, let's not say. There are things that are too sweet, but for the most part, it's not a problem for me.
Even I saw it on YouTube, and there was like a certain dessert in the US to have only the cake icing.
I believe it.
Whoa, that's too much.
You know what's funny? When I was a kid, my best friend and I used to, make cupcakes or brownies or chocolate chip cookies. And we used to say, oh, when we're adults, we're just going to make the batter and eat the batter and nothing else. And then
That's
clearly
like
people in our generation were all thinking that. And then we made
Cookie
dough
dough.
ice cream and all of, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what
so
got
smart,
into
though.
us that we all thought the same thing.
So cookie dough ice cream is like one thing that I go have when I visit US.
Really?
Because we don't have that much in Korea.
That's very I actually rarely eat something like this, even in the US.
Yeah. That's not your thing.
Yeah, just because
That's not your.
I tend to eat just chocolate, like actual real chocolate, and not a lot of cakes and things like that. But
Okay,
anyway,
so
back to you, Sam.
listen, Soomin, what do you when you see us like kind of just engaging with Korean culture as these 2 Americans, like what do you see?
For you guys engaging in Korean culture.
Yeah, when you just see us kind of participating in Korea and in the way that we do,
Yeah, I
like
do have a thought.
Interesting.
It seems like some people want to know a specific part about Korea, but you guys, you want to learn every bit of small parts of every you want to meet young people, you want to meet older people, you want to visit city side, countryside. So it seems like you want to know like the whole part of Korea.
Yeah.
And you would say that that compares to other people that you've met who would
Like-
do what?
Maybe some people would focus only on food
Oh,
or
okay.
like Korean culture, like
Okay.
Or like K-pop, yeah.
But it
I
seems
see.
like-
Just like a piece of the culture.
piece of the culture. But you guys, whenever you come to Korea, you have some things that you want to know. This time you wanted to visit like where was it?
Where we were the other day?
Yeah,
in
the
like
small places.
the homeless
Yeah,
place.
homeless. places.
Right. We went to Seoul Station and
You always had a place that you wanted to know a little deeper about.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Okay, that's good. They didn't hear anything.
Okay.
That's good. All right,
Answer.
that's
We
good.
got an answer.
Yeah, I think it's true. I would say it's kind of true wherever we travel, right? Like we never go to tourist spots.
I know.
We go to we were in Paris.
It was.
Yeah, you go to the Eiffel Tower. You go to we went to the Louvre.
Wait.
There was a line at the Louvre, and we're like,
Wait, I want to tell the like.
So coffee shop is a simple business for startups.
Is that someone from Korea?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It is such a easy
Certain,
Sort
yeah,
of,
yeah.
yeah.
There's not a lot to sell. I mean, I wouldn't want. It wouldn't be a lot to
There
to,
are a
to
lot of
run it.
franchise as well.
Yeah.
All right,
So
what's
we were.
your-
No, I was going to say, tell the story. I wish my brother and sister-in-law were watching this, even though I know they're not because they're sleeping. But Sam and I spent 6 months in Spain, and so my brother Rick and his not then girlfriend came to visit us, and so we took this road trip around the south of Spain,
the southern coast.
the southern, right. And we passed what is the Rock of Gibraltar, right? This major thing, and Sam was like, "Oh, it's just a rock. Let's just keep going." And we never forget that moment, and that is so typical. Like the other day, we went to Namsang Tower. We didn't go up. We were there. We went halfway.
This is just a tower.
We went. We were like on the 4th floor. We had a beer. We watched people. We talked, and then
we were
left.
still pretty high.
It was
So,
like, how did we
like,
come all the way
why-
here and not go?
Yeah, why go to the very top? I said we've been to the top of buildings
This is
like the World Trade Center and like the Lotte Tower here.
it's yeah.
We're like, yeah, why
it's
are we
bizarre.
gonna do that?
But I think the other side of it is we both truly, I think, just appreciate people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of tourist site, Myeongdong is really famous for tourists.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we
So
are
it's
hitting
ironic we're here.
Here we are.
But we didn't look into the stores or
No,
any
we did not.
vendor
No,
shops.
yeah.
So
No,
we just
yeah.
ate into a random place.
Yeah, yeah.
And you bought a jacket, a
I
winter
did buy a
jacket, because you're
jacket.
cold.
I bought a Samsung jacket. Yeah, so we were, everywhere we go. Oh my God, we're in Paris. We go, hey, let's go to the Louvre. You know, like, all right, we'll go to the Louvre. We get to the Louvre. We're outside. We sit down. We're watching people, which is what we enjoy doing. And there's a line, and we're like, what are we gonna see in there? The Mona Lisa? I'm like, look, the Mona Lisa.
We've
There's
done
gonna
that
be 300
so
people.
many times. Sam, the Blue Mosque was another
Yeah,
time we did
yeah.
that when we went to the Vatican City.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were like, look at the line. And say,
Yeah, there's too many people. I'm not gonna stand in front of the Mona Lisa with 300 people, man. First off, I saw the Mona Lisa back in 1982 with like 5 or 6 other people in the room.
Oh, only 5 or 6?
Yeah, I was like right looking, like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
and then
pretty cool.
it suddenly tourism became this thing. Probably like 20 to 25 years ago, it became a thing that everybody has to go places and check things off their to-do list. But back when I was, in my 20s, that wasn't the case. So,
the world
and then
got
we went to
smaller.
the Eiffel Tower. I think we saw it from a distance. No, we stayed at a hotel near the Eiffel Tower, but we never went up it. We were just like, yeah, there's the Eiffel Tower. Okay. We didn't take a photo with us at the Eiffel Tower. We didn't do anything. In Rome, same thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
I always take photo of Eiffel Tower with nice clothes and with,
Seriously?
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
best clothes.
Yeah. No, we don't have that. Yeah, it's a thing. But what we'll do is we'll go to some like neighborhood in a place like Paris. Remember, like we met that one person in that neighborhood, kind of out of the way in North Paris, right? Who worked with the migrant communities in Paris. And then we're just walking, and we always end up in all these industrial places, really. And then there's a cemetery, and we're like, hey, let's go to the cemetery. And then we're walking around the cemetery, and we do stuff like that. Like, it's just so that we have this kind of feeling that. Also, we're cheap, so we don't like spending money on things. Well, that has historically been the case. Yeah.
What allowed us to go places was not to spend money on touristy things because otherwise we wouldn't be able to be there. So it was just be in the place. But I also, for me, traveling is always, I'm going into someone else's world and it's the real world, and so it doesn't feel like vacation for me. It feels like I just stepped into someone else's world. So that's kind of how I walk through, is that I'm in the world with other people. So it's not that, I mean, I know I miss out on some things for sure because I tend not to do the tourist things, but because tourist things are cool things, right? It's like where everybody wants to see that thing. But at the same time, I feel like the life is in other places a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like if you go to Gangnam, I could be anywhere on some level, right? It's just like an international place, or Itaewon. It's like
Itaewon,
lots
yeah.
of people from lots of places and lots
They're all
of different.
busy, right?
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but that doesn't feel as meaningful to me as going to a feeling another way of life.
You want to meet people who's living their life, like
Yeah.
be in the middle of their life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sondering. There's a term in English that someone created called sondering.
Sondering.
It's like the recognition that you are, of everyone around you is an actor. Like
Is a subject of
is a
their own
subject
story.
of their
and
own
you're an
story.
object of their story.
Isn't there like a movie? I don't remember that.
There is a video.
Ah.
There is whoever it was made a video
Yeah,
that like,
yeah.
so it's just crazy to we just are the subjects of our own lives, and so everybody else is the backdrop, everybody else are the objects, right? But when you realize that everybody's a subject, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa. That's deep.
Hey, so Jeff, Auxiliadora, that's Jeff. That's,
Oh.
you know Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. I love the Jeff is making all the thumbnails, right? Is
It's-
he? Thumbnails, the
Yeah.
I love the thumbnails.
Yeah,
He's
Jeff,
killing it.
Jeff is the one that,
Doing his perfect job.
yeah, he's really done it. He's our main producer, editor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he really is taken to another level.
What else do you see? So one was that,
Wait, can I just find out what time is it for Jeff right now? Wait, I guess I could figure that out.
yeah, but Jeff, it's
6 in the morning
6 a.m.
6:15. Yeah, it's 6:15. It's not 6.
He's waking up so early.
on a Sunday morning. Wow.
Did you wake him up?
No, he probably. I told him we were going to be streaming, so he probably just popped up.
Oh. Maybe it's not about you guys adventuring Korea, but it seems like you're close to my dad's age, but you guys seem so much younger. Is it the right term?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who was it that said she thought I was 70? Oh, Bookie's friend, who you met the other night when we were
producer.
eating. Yeah, the
Yeah,
producer. We asked her. So I said, "Be honest. How old do you think I am?" She said, 70.
No, I think it.
No, but it felt good actually because I don't want to try to be younger than I am. You know, I'm happy. It felt something about it felt relieved. When people tell me I look like I'm 50, you know, I'm like, oh, come on, man. Then I have to feel like I have to act 50 or something like that, or I'm gonna fall over the edge.
Yeah. But what is it that you were getting at though with the thought about the comparison with your dad?
Because sometimes it's kind of hard to talk with like similar topics with the people way
The older
than me,
generation.
older generation.
Yeah.
But we talk about a whole bunch of topics.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
That's very interesting.
But you're easy to talk to also.
I know.
In that sense,
there's
you're-
so many times where I think that maybe Soomin, I don't know if you won't, it's not that you wouldn't answer a question, but that you might not want to, or you might have a certain, I don't even know, I can't even think of a question, but you're just like right there. You
Yeah,
never
yeah,
verge or divert from the conversation,
Yeah,
like
you're-
very comfortably, and I don't know, it's really cool.
Feels like bicultural, right?
Bicultural?
Like you're a Westerner and an Easterner
I
at the
thought I
same
was
time.
such a Korean person.
No, but you can morph into a Western person. Like you.
But
Sometimes
actually,
you'll-
wait, but we're talking about generational differences
Yeah, okay,
right now.
okay, yeah,
So that's just another thing that I don't know what to attribute it to. That because you're bringing it up, right? You're like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, we
yeah.
can talk."
But I always thought that since you guys are so close to talking with like university students,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that you guys are so well at talking with the people in their 20s and 30s.
I think there's something to that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like learning what people are thinking, or continuing to be connected to what people of that age are thinking.
Laurie's
right?
really good at that. It's like she understands Gen X and then Gen Z and Gen Y.
I
like,
wouldn't say
over the years.
I understand it like at that in the way you're saying it, that just in the sense of like I understand the generation. I just talk to people.
You know, you
what
talk
I
to
mean?
people so you can be. You remind me all the time, like, dude, you're messing. You're really messing, or there's something going on here that you're not seeing about this generation or whatever. 'Cause
Well-
you do that very well.
And you guys never judge people by my answer
By
Like-
generations.
in generations, and also like sometimes someone might ask me questions. Like older generation, they already have an answer to the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
they
understand that.
expect my answer to be certain ways, but you guys never do that to me.
Well, because it's
yeah.
to me that's something that has, well, I don't know, maybe some part of it is just part of me, but just talking to so many people, it's so fascinating what people actually think and what they actually feel. And to me, why would I want them to think or act in a way that I'm thinking? You know what I mean? I'm just like, no, tell me what's up for you, right? And it's just, like, I have to, what's the word? When someone is feeling, when I can tell there's like some static or something in between us, I'm always so disappointed that if they think that I'm trying to get them to, because I'm like, I just really want to know what you think. Really, that's it, because it's really important. And also because I know that when someone speaks, like responds to a question, they're teaching themselves what they think.
Yeah,
you know. And I'm like,
agree.
I want you to know what you think, or for yourself. You know what I mean? For no other reason, because I think that that's just cool and important. You know.
And also, there's one other thing. It's so easy for me to say, I don't know to you guys. But like sometimes there are times that I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But like in class, I might have to fake it so that I know.
Yeah.
But in front of you guys, I could say, what was that word? Or
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting that it would be even an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even thinking that that you should ever not know, like have a moment where you know everything. You know, like I just can't even imagine that would be that your experience is that other people are expecting an answer all the time. And I have my own experience of like feeling like I have to always prove myself. So it's not that I don't have that either, but it's just, it's like I'm being reminded, like, wow, what is going on with
Since
humans?
you never expect people to have an answer of sorts. Like for Laurie, it's all an exploration. But you will be like, well, I mean, for a specific idea or something. But if you're asking someone a question about what they think about something, then you
Like, what are you
expect them to
hoping happens in the next 5 years? Like, I'm not like, what do you think is going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. You should give me the right answer. It's just like, what do you think?
Yeah, but
You know?
like in classes, like in my university in Korea, when professor asks a question, it's all about kind of getting
An answer. Yeah, exactly.
and getting the score.
Yep, totally.
And I always think about, why did this professor ask me that question? Like maybe there is like a certain meaning behind it.
Yeah.
That they want something.
They want something.
Yeah.
Or they expect something. Yeah.
I've just been so blessed and cursed, probably, to realize that I'll just talk about students, right? Over my lifetime, being in the position of teacher, even though that's not how I see myself, and just having students say a most profound thing that I never thought of before. And I'm like, well, who's in charge here? I mean, we're all thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so passionate about people thinking together. And like, that's the work that I do. And because it's just like, oh my God, humans are so creative and intelligent, and like, why would I just want you to say what I say? You know what I mean? It's just, I want you to say something more creative, more whatever, you know, so that we can be all smarter together.
Right.
And you really are like that too. You really are. You really want people to explore their minds.
Well, it's not just explore their minds. I think that we have to surface what's inside of us because we've been socialized to shut things off from ourselves, right? That's civilization, right? Just like, don't be that way, don't think this, blah, 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 blah. And so some of our best gifts and ideas and creative insights are hidden from us because of our socialization.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I want people to explore their minds. It's like I want us to get out the gold that's in us hiding and that we're not benefiting from because we've hidden it from ourselves, you know? So many times people will say, oh, I don't want to say this, it's really something. And I'm like, no, please. And then they'll say something and I'm like, oh my God, we so needed to hear that. That was the perfect thought, you know?
So,
do we have any questions?
Sun-Young I think the biggest difference is diversity. And I am from Korea. When I live in South Korea, I thought everyone is different. But now, because I moved into New York for a while, I feel here is more diversity, and I realize that Korean people has their own standards because we're growing up in a homogeneous culture.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know, you can't. You've been to New York, so I mean, you know, L.A., New York, Washington. You know that the diversity
Whoa.
is just
I was
profound,
surprised.
man.
And even like every choices that you can make in a meal.
Yeah.
I have so many to choose.
Yeah.
You
So
just
true.
don't. You know, you're here in Korea, and you know, like foreigners just reached 2.1%. No, hang on, 2.5 million, which is 5% of the population.
Wow.
Right? And 5% of the population, man. Like we are like, and we in the U.S. white people are like 56% of the population. But even the diversity among white people is so vast that.
But that's why it goes back to what the person's comment was, which is, you know, I thought it was diverse when I lived here, but it is because there's so many subcultures, right?
True.
So like everywhere you look, you can look at all the complexity, right? So there's one level where it's like, oh yeah, monocultural. And then there's another level where there's like all these other cultures below that, right? So it's not untrue. It's just a different kind of cultural differences because like if you're in New York, you're going to find all these people of different ethnicities grouping up across those ethnicities with other people like them. You know what I mean? In their subculture. Here's like the music people, and here's the athletes, and here's the people that are into language, or here are the activists, or you know what I mean? So it's constantly
Change maybe the forms.
like delineating and coming together. So it's really, I always am thinking about that in Korea, that how many different Koreas there are.
Yeah.
You know?
We always talk about K-pop in the music that we like, but there are so many band type and like electronic music and jazz, and there are so many other sorts.
Yeah.
Yep, totally.
But it seems like in the outside, people are watching Korean as the ones who only like K-pop music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like how people came to know the U.S. in Hollywood kind of ways, right? All the white people are rich, and all the people are like this, and it's like So yeah, you'll be suffering from the same thing. Like everyone's a K-pop idol. You know what I mean? Like it's so crazy to think that people would think like that, but that's what you see.
And like we watch television here, we'll scroll through the channels, and there's rarely any K-pop on television. It's all these other genres of music, you know, and music
And
for
performance,
older
entertainment,
generations.
games, all kinds. It's so
And
much.
jazz is big here, and
Ballad, is that like a genre that there is in the U.S. as well?
Ballad?
Ballad.
I don't.
It's like a really slow form of music.
that's for older generations, right?
No,
Is it like a ballad?
ballad.
When it's like a
Ballad.
single
Oh,
voice
ballad.
singing a
Ballad,
song.
Ballad, we say,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's actually my
so
favorite
big here.
music.
No, we watch that, and then there's someone singing, and there's people dancing behind them. Is that the?
Is it?
Bella?
I don't know that it necessarily.
Not a lot of people dance behind.
Yeah.
It's just one or two
Exactly.
people
Like
singing in a
people who sing ballads. It's
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
ballads.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what is the music we'll watch on television sometimes? There'll be someone who's like 60 years old singing.
That's trot, Trot.
Trot music.
Okay.
There's
Trot
60,
music.
and then there's like some dancers in the back, and they're doing these dances.
We always find it humorous.
And we're always like, oh man, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it is very complex here. Yeah, that's
Anywhere.
cool.
But there are humans.
As humans are complex.
So yeah, USA has one of the most diverse cultures that's ever existed. But don't tell that to Americans. Comparing white people, putting them all in the same group: Russian, Irish, Italian, German. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Wait,
like
this person is saying, don't put white people in the same group, or do put them in the same group.
Don't tell that. One of the most diverse culture that's ever existed.
yeah. Wait,
But don't put like all the Russian, Irish, Italian, German.
Yeah, right. Don't just
Yeah,
say white
yeah,
people,
yeah.
because white
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are so
Especially-
many people.
And
When
there's
you-
a really good comment. That's why people shouldn't be classified by skin color. Chinese.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I look here and then Koreans are white, man.
Oh,
Really.
now we're
Some
just talking
Koreans
about
are-
color.
Just color, like, man. Damn. And I don't mean just because of all the skin stuff. I just mean, Koreans by and large are light skinned, except they're different, like,
Ethnic.
yeah, ethnic, morphologically, like we see differences, but if you go like in like say Queens in New York, which is as a geographical area, there's about 1 million people that live in Queens. It's the most ethnically diverse geographic area on Earth.
Really.
It's like so many different cultures.
amazing.
We
Like
we
block
we
to
spent a
block,
week there.
like it just changed. The
You're in
cultures
the Greek
just changed.
block and the Portuguese block, to 3 blocks, and then you go into
The
the
Jamaican
Russian
block and the Italian.
yeah.
Travel by blocks, and there would be a restaurant.
You
Oh,
could just walk.
oh,
You just go
oh,
and
yeah.
you just walk all day.
We
It's
actually,
crazy.
before we went abroad somewhere, we actually considered, I think it was maybe before we went to Spain, we considered just going to Queens and just being there. I'm like, Sam, this
That's
is
a great idea.
that's
Well,
where
we
we
did
can
that.
meet.
We spent
We
6
split-
days there.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 days, but yeah, that was, and it feels like you're in different. Well, you are in different cultures, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Speaking of food, my cousin who's Canadian Korean visited Seoul for like 2 weeks, and she's vegan. And it was really hard to find
I
restaurants.
was about to say how
I
I would like to follow in her footsteps and just see where she went.
I was even thinking to myself, I should make like a map of vegan food in Korea.
Yes.
It is so difficult to find, and even like when people come to Korea, they don't expect to have vegan food that's Americanized. They want Korean food
Yeah.
that's vegan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would be one of those. I'm not vegan, but I would be one of those people that would like to take that path of the vegan restaurant circuit.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
That could be your
wild.
next book.
Yeah. My next job.
Yeah, right.
Hey, so I have a question for you. So you've been a television a producer for how many years?
It's my
Seventh year. And what has being a producer, doing the work that you've done, what has it taught you about human beings? By the way, if you've tuned in, so this is Soomin Kim. Soomin and I met 4 years ago, 5 years ago on video, and then we became friends, and then now Soomin is our creative producer here in Korea. So any really cool project that needs some direction yeah, some assistance, direction. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Could we do this? Could we do that? Like, we always turn to Soomin here, and so. And she's awesome, by the way. And
Yeah, it's
not only
beyond
that,
awesome.
but also, so this
Oh yeah,
is
we have to get to this, definitely.
yeah.
I wanted to, but we can do that now, or I just also know you were gonna
No,
say
we're gonna actually. I want to ask, what has being
Oh, yeah.
a
Your
producer
answer.
taught you about human beings? Like your
beings.
work as a producer.
So when I started off my job as producer, I always thought about just making some videos that people watch a lot. But as time passes by, I got to think that I need to hold on. I want to start over. So it's like I have a thought that I should never kind of judge people in the first place, like before asking them questions. Like easier way to make programs is to kind of put people in the box.
Right.
But if I ask questions, there are more deeper level, and
Right.
that's like the part that we should show to people,
Right.
to the viewers.
Right. So don't like make people fit into your script. Actually let the script emerge
Right,
from
right,
talking
exactly.
to them.
And that was a way that we worked on the book as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew Sam so much.
Yeah.
But asking him questions. So we worked on a book
Yeah,
called The
why don't-
Sweet
Wait,
Spot.
here's
Yeah,
the
talk
book.
about it.
So it's a book. Yeah, you could explain.
Well, I'll explain this. Someone, book publisher, asked me to write a book here in Korea, and they sent.
Wait, is there a question?
Yeah, you could go on and
They sent a prospectus for the book, and with the title, the whole thing, everything, and said this. We think you could really do this book, and I went, oh man, it was like 6 or 8 pages. It was very compelling. What they wrote, what he wrote, was so compelling that I said, I'd like to read that book actually. So, and then I realized, I didn't have to write it. So anyway, I talked to them. We met, and I said, okay, I'll do it. So I signed a contract, and thinking that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Then I would sit down and I'd start writing in the springtime, and it moved into summer, and I had to have it done by like November or December. But I kept wanting, every time I would sit down to write, I wanted to go out golfing. And so I'm
He's just like any other students who
yeah,
don't want
just
to
like,
study.
just like my students.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh my God. But I started writing it, but I didn't like it. And finally, remember when I came to you?
Yep.
And
I
I
do.
said,
I do. I remember.
I
This was
have
such
an
a
idea.
good, which Sam says multiple times a day. I have an idea.
About my book.
And
You should make a T-shirt. With,
I did.
I have a
I
t-shirt.
made a
She made
T-shirt. I painted on it. I have an idea.
I have an idea.
She gave it to me for my birthday.
We
one
think
year.
alike.
Yeah.
So you did come in
The idea
to
was,
my office.
I came in, I said, I know how I can write this book. I'm going to have Soomin interview me. We'll come up with the chapters, and she can interview me, and then we'll get the transcript, and then we'll edit the transcript. And so,
And I thought, okay, that's
yeah,
doable.
a brilliant
That's
idea.
doable.
And it had to be someone in Korea.
But,
and
and it also had to be, Soomin had to agree to it. I didn't know if you would agree to it, but I was like, no, if she agreed to that, that
yeah,
would
and
be
it had to be
amazing.
someone who I had a real special connection
Yeah,
with. And so
totally.
we have a special connection. So I'm like, okay, I want to talk to you, right? And I felt like you would want to listen to me.
Totally.
So the end is that right there.
Sweet spot.
There it is.
Yeah. It's only in Korean,
Yeah,
by
but
the way.
here's
There is
another-
no English version.
But there's also another part of it, which is that that your name is on
On
Yeah.
the book.
on the cover
This
because
is you right there.
Yeah.
We had to arm wrestle that because that doesn't happen in Korea.
It doesn't happen in the U.S. either.
You're right.
Maybe there's a different protocol here, even compared, but people don't have the people who help write also part of the authorship. And so it's
Yeah,
I think really like you can't write a book without editors and it's like the editor writes half of a book, right? Because when you edit something, you're doing a profound
yeah.
creative task. So I'm not saying you were an editor, but you are partly an editor.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh my
Just
God.
asking you questions.
But the questions that you asked, the first time we did it, we were just getting a feel for it, right? It was like, okay, they were good questions. Then the second chapter that we did, they were better questions. And then by the time we got to about the four, I think, how many chapters are there?
It was
15
like-
or 16?
No, it's like 10, 12. 12?
10 or 12? By the time we got to maybe the fourth chapter, I was like, whoa, these are amazing questions, and I want to answer them. Like, I really wanted to answer them. So they were just the questions of a journalist or a therapist or something. I think, a combination
No,
of the
a
two.
professional questioner.
Yeah.
And so it would be nice if your photo was here too.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah.
Like speaking about doing the interview, I kind of had a thought that Sam would answer it like certain ways, and it was never that way.
Oh, that's
never,
cool.
Never.
That's so cool. That's kind of what we were just talking about, right?
Yeah. That
You just don't know until someone actually
Yeah, you
speaks.
don't know. And I didn't. And the questions were so good that I didn't know what I was going to answer until I answered.
Yeah, that's
like I would write a few ideas out. So as we go through our interview, we did it on Zoom and we recorded it and then we transcribed it in English, and then I edited it in English, and then you put it in Korean, and then
right.
you edited it in Korean.
That's-
And also there were times that we were doing the interview and we got kind of emotional, and
Yeah.
sometimes I felt like I was gonna tear up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was all about relationship.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I thought like that might be the true love.
Aw.
Yeah.
And I can't even read it. I have no idea what's in here.
And when you do read it, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there would be no way.
'Cause
But that's
Korean-
cool. It tells me though that this is alive. That the
It's
the
live.
words in here are very
Yeah.
live. That's
So I
great.
wish like the questions that I asked Sam, maybe those list of questions are the questions that you should ask yourself as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there was one comment. Soomin, how exotic is Sam and Laurie for you in compared to your best professor in Korea? You know what? I never thought you guys as professor. That's the funny part.
Yeah, and that's probably what we feel, right?
Yeah.
You're not having. That's not part of the dynamic.
Because for me, professors are the ones who teach me the information, information, but we are the ones who share, and I got to learn a
information.
lot
from you guys, but it's not like you guys are pushing me like knowledge.
And
But
we're
we-
learning from you too.
Yeah,
so-
it's very much two-way.
Two-way,
Yeah,
two-way.
two-way.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what's actually, this is a different dimension of things, but it is so weird as we grow as people, right? When you feel like there's such a difference between generations, right? Like when you're young, it's like, oh, the adults, and like the adults are like, oh, the kids. It's like you're not peers, right? But there's this funny thing that happens at some point where the child becomes the adult, and we don't have that experience with you. We didn't know you as a child, but the point is, where my mom used to always say, the ages come together, right? And there's at what point, and I don't even know at what point that happens. I guess it's different with different individuals, right? But it always feels weird to be, it's almost like you're crossing a boundary or violating something if you can see a person younger or older than you as equal. And I'm like, but why aren't we? You know what I mean? We just have different life experiences. And so, anyway, like it's just a funny thing that we should even be discussing it.
That's that thing about the
Be-
hierarchy.
Yeah.
Because my students, one of the things that allows me to do what I do and allows Laurie to do what she does, which is kind of what I do, but in a different context, is that all of these people that we run into contact with, these young people, have something to teach us.
And on the other side, I can get into trouble with this. there's nobody that's above me that I feel is above me either.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly there's people all over the planet that know more than me, that are smarter than me about all these different things. But that's not the point. Like, nobody is better than me or better than you, right? And so I have the same, I struggle with treating someone in authority as somehow better than, different than how I would treat anybody else, right? So it's not just like me and young people, it's also me and whoever people, you know what I mean?
But still, I really want to behave that way. Like,
Yeah.
But you do actually.
Well, you do in a very
you know,
subtle
but
way.
you know how to do.
switching off.
Yeah.
Because maybe in like, you know, like in companies, if you have a boss or if you meet your CEO,
Yeah.
you can't be like,
I know. I just can't help it.
Laurie
Seriously.
is not. Laurie had a meeting.
no.
What are you gonna say?
No. Laurie had a
To the
meeting
world.
recently where her boss, who's kind of someone who's kind of a bigwig, was like, "Listen, we're gonna go into the meeting, and I'm gonna sit next to you. I'm gonna keep you in control here, right? And just because I know you, and I know you'll just be right here, and so it's a way I can say that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You did.
Laurie,
Never asked.
right. Never ask permission. Always ask forgiveness.
Yeah.
Laurie met the queen of.
This is what I mean. I don't
Can
tell
I
that story.
tell that
No, do
story?
not tell that story.
I'll tell you
It's
the
not bad.
story.
It's not a bad story. We just don't have to tell it.
Okay, we don't have the time.
But the point
Someday
is,
I'll tell
it's
you.
really not in my makeup. And also, I wasn't educated by my family I come from a working class family. Working class families are not, at least especially in the US, you're not taught to genuflect to royalty, authority. You're not in those spaces, you know?
Yeah.
You're working in.
And you look down on those people
Well,
because
that's what happens eventually. But the point is, you're not meeting people who are in positions where you would have to act differently with them. So I never learned that either, right? So it's very foreign to have to do that, and I'm sure it's worked against me because I just haven't even seen people in the roles that they're in. I see them as themselves, and I'm like, who are you? What are you? So, you know, it's an interesting realm.
I was also just surprised by what you said. Like, I come from working class. Is that a very usual thing to say in the US?
Not really. I think you and I say it more than anybody.
Yeah, we say it a
all
lot.
the time.
Because it's so unusual.
Yeah.
We're not around people, for the most part, that are like us.
It's
I mean,
not.
some of our
So
friends,
what do
for
you mean
sure.
by working class though?
Blue collar,
Didn't go to-
like I'm the first
family
person to
didn't
go to college.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You come home.
my grandfather, one worked at a gas station, one drove a truck. My dad was an electrician for most of his life.
Laurie's mom cleaned houses. My mom was a secretary, and my dad had a factory. You come home when you're working class. You come home and wash your hands. You take your shoes off before you enter, not because you're Korean, because everybody does here, but because they're dirty.
And also,
Shoes
like,
are
your
dirty.
my dad, I can always remember my dad's jeans, like, smelling like grease. And, like, it's just like but anyway, the point is, you're not, my parents weren't thinking about education. I mean, they were very smart people, and they just weren't educated by college. They were educated by life. And, but the point is, it's just people who are the ones who, at least in the United States right now, we sort of romanticize as the real working people. You know what I mean? Like, those people. So we don't come from the educated elite, you know, even middle class. We were.
And there would be like people in the working class might say things when they look at those educated people, we'd be like, the educated dumb.
Yeah, we definitely said that in
Because
my family.
They can't change a light bulb, you know? They can't do basic things. They can't fix a basic plumbing fixture.
Oh, they can't change the light bulb.
They can't do,
I mean,
do
they can,
anything.
yeah.
you know?
I mean,
Some people can't.
No, I'm not changing what you're saying at all. It's just like the brilliance of people who build the world. I don't mean the people who, you know, make the plans and invest in the things and say to other people to do it, but like being part of the class of people that actually does it, that pulls the wires, that digs the holes, you know.
Can you change a tire on a car? your car breaks down, gets a flat tire. Can you go into the trunk, get the tire out, and change it? And like, you know, if you're
do
working
that.
class, you absolutely have done that your whole life, you know, because you can't pay someone else to do it.
And at my house, I always think every Sunday it was like 4 cars in the driveway and like fixing hoods up on the cars and like in the cars fixing the cars and doing all this. Like,
Yeah, like all of my cars, I worked on them myself. Like I was always working on mine.
And you guys were never felt bad about that.
No, you didn't
it's just-
even.
it's just
it
normal.
Just was.
It's
yeah.
just life.
yeah.
I had no. I just assumed that I would be doing that my whole life. And then when I learned how to do something on my car, I remember I changed the starter one time. And this is before YouTube, so I had to
Before you
get
like
up.
the dark ages.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to know. There were no manuals. I
yeah.
couldn't ask anyone.
Yeah.
I went to the junkyard and I said, "Hey, I need a starter for a 1974 Dodge Challenger. Do you, can you give me one?"
That seems professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy, we go out into the junkyard and he finds the Dodge Challenger. And he's like, "Well, this is a 74, but this is the starter you want." And we get in there and we take it out. And we had to like do a bunch of stuff. We take it out, and I've got this thing, it's heavy. And then I take it home, and I watched him take it out, so I knew what I had to do, So I take mine out and I put this one in, and it worked, man. And my car started, and I was like, yes. And I was, 16. Well, at that time I was probably 17 or maybe 18 years old.
The key thing about that is you didn't do that for the education of it.
Yeah.
You did it because that's how you had to do it to get the car working to be
Yeah.
on the road. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that is just.
Yeah, I
it's
didn't
such
have
a
money.
different world.
We didn't have money to go. Your parents didn't have money. You can't go to take your car to the shop. Like I can't do that. Back then that would have cost me like $90, maybe $100, and that's a whole week's worth of wages when I was working back then. So I don't have a week.
Yeah.
I can't spend a week's wages.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that says what working class is, but that's what it is.
But now we can't do that. So you never thought about. You never saw your dad working on a car.
No, he did. He did, but I think my point is, if we were in Korea, it might be kind of awkward to say that I'm from working class. But in terms of, they will not try to
Yeah.
open it up,
You would sort of hide that.
hide that. Not.
Yeah, and in the U.S., because here it means your family wasn't really elevated, right? So it says something about the family you came from. Whereas in the U.S., it's like, oh, you were working class and you moved up. So first off, you were able to move up. That's big. That shows that you have something behind you. And we don't
Actually,
judge.
though, but I want to add to that
Yeah.
because we're not in the upper class, we think that that's a badge of honor. but honestly,
if we were in the upper class,
no,
it
we're
would
not
not.
in the upper class
Yeah.
because we don't come from a family or people who have reputations and
That's right.
finances and other contacts networks behind them. So it's only to us that we think that that's not only to us. I mean, there is something
No,
in the
for
U.S.
sure.
about moving up, but I really do
Yeah.
think that it is not actually a positive thing at all.
So here's
to
the
be
thing.
in that.
Oh, so I'll say this, and then I want to hear more about Korea. But Laurie's often saying, if you just kind of think about what we've been able to do, like kind of how we started and what we've been able to do over the course of our careers for the past 35 years. If we had started in the upper class or upper middle class, like, wow, man, imagine the things that would have happened.
We could have done.
We could have done.
The impact we could have had if we were the same people with like financial backing and networks, people like people who had power, who could have also implemented a completely different world that we
Yeah,
would be
like
in.
imagine the ideas you and I have had about what to do in Korea. It's like, man, if I came with the backing, we'd be doing some really amazing things. So, but in Korea, so
Is there
family is.
just real quick. Is there comment or a
comment.
question?
Someone was talking about the educated dumb.
Educated dumb.
Exactly. That's why my Mexican dad taught me to sweep pipes and rebuild engines. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Old money is real. What's old? Old money.
It means a family that's come from money for generations and generations. Yeah. So you're just taught to be of a certain class because because your family is through the generations of that class, as opposed to people who, someone that's risen
Not like
up.
high. Old money, you don't know someone's old money. Like in the U.S., historically, can you just like put your finger up on that? Yeah. You wouldn't know it because old money learns not to talk about money. It's like here, you don't nobody.
Talk about money.
The people who are really at the top here in Korea,
Elite.
you're not going to sit in a coffee shop with them and they're not going to tell you about how rich they are. Like,
You know
they don't
what's-
do it. But
what's
the new
interesting-
money people, but the person who you graduated college with, and they made 10 million in the
All of a sudden?
in the stock market, they're going to talk about it, because they're new money. They don't know that you don't talk about
But you
that.
know what? I don't know what the future is going to be in the U.S. because people don't talk about money, even though maybe there's something to what you're saying, but like people to people, we don't talk about money. Nobody talks. People, they don't. You just. It's taboo.
Taboo.
You just don't talk about it. So, but it's very interesting right now with the Trump era, because it's a very different cultural moment arising, and so much of it is about money, and so much of what the Trump family does is explicit. We've never seen that before. So who knows what's coming next? We do not know, but it is very different. I mean, the way the Trump family and the Trump administration operates is different for the United States. So I don't know what we will be saying in 10 years.
Maybe then we could be really not. It will be really natural to talk.
Yeah, it might
about
be.
money.
It might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's like, shocking to people.
But that's surprising because me and my friends talk about the stock market a lot, like how much the stock of Nvidia or Samsung is, and how it's going really up.
But that's a different conversation than this is how much money I make, and this is how much I'm saving, and this is what my family is
my
worth. and-
portfolio.
Yeah.
That's a taboo. And
Nobody would talk about that.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But younger people, like I see this, like we have a lot of international students. And we see this with Chinese students, because really wealthy Chinese students, like they didn't get, their parents got wealthy. If they don't have family, they don't have generations of wealth. This is something that happened very recently. So they didn't learn how to be wealthy from their grandparents, who learned it from their parents, who learned, so you learn all of the subtleties of it. And so they wear the jacket that costs $1,500 and the shoes that cost $1,000, and they're signaling to all these other people. But I've had Chinese students who do come from kind of old money, like I find out from them that come from old money, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't want anyone to, I don't want,
You don't
I don't want
operate that
anyone
way.
to know.
Yeah.
I don't operate that way. So like, I'm like, well, but something you're wearing signals to other students that you're rich. They're like, no, they don't know. They have no idea.
I like the word signal
Yeah.
that you're rich.
Yeah.
Someone wanted me to show what we were eating.
Well,
That's a really good question. This is like a mango cake, mango cream
icebox cake.
and this is we already ate Oreo
Icebox. So good.
It's really
Some
good.
cafe is really
And this
famous.
is a hazelnut peanut latte.
This was just a regular latte.
It's cool now. It was hot.
And I had all the iced Americano. So it seems like whenever you come to a cafe in Korea, you try to choose a new menu. Sam, you always chose new menu.
Yeah, always
he does.
something.
Why are you
Yeah.
exploring new menus?
Yeah. I think it's, well,
That's what you do that. That's what
everything is new. I
You
want to try
always
something
drink.
new.
new ones.
Yeah,
you
You
something
had
new.
smoothie and you had
Yeah, I've never had
lemonade
before.
and-
No, I travel all over the world, and I want something new. I was in Changwon a couple weeks ago, and I had a black sesame drink.
Oh,
Whoa, man! It was like it tasted
Pizza in
just
Korean.
like black sesame. It was so good.
Yeah, you said that it was amazing.
Wow. Yeah, it was amazing.
And then where was it that you had the best coffee you ever had in your life?
I made it myself.
No,
We're-
there was another spot. No.
Oh,
There was an.
no.
that
That's
wasn't
right.
it. That wasn't it.
Yeah, where was I? I was in
And I was like,
Changwon also,
and I was like,
think.
we have to go there. Where is it? And you were like,
Yeah,
nah,
that was
it's
in
never gonna
Changwon.
happen
Yeah,
again.
We'll never go back.
also not in Seoul, but in Changwon.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the best coffee.
Yeah, because if otherwise, I would have been there already. If it was the best coffee ever.
I put it in the coffee machine. It was a latte, and then I took it out, and I was just standing there, and I drank it, and I went. And then I slowly backed away, and then I just did this and kept drinking, and I went, okay, I made another one.
So it's not like a franchise or anything.
No, it was at the hotel.
Coffee
I
machine?
don't know the machine though. I forget the machine. I didn't know the company. I think it was a Korean machine, but it's all about the beans. And then the next day,
Oh no, wait! It's not all about the beans. We'll have this whole conversation. We've had a
conversation
lifetime conversation about what is it that makes the coffee good,
okay, I don't know, but I will say
we
the
won't
next
have this
day
conversation.
I had another one.
and it
I
wasn't.
couldn't wait to get down there, and it was not the same. And I thought, I wonder if you guys use different beans or the same beans but a different batch or something.
Wait, can I just say how many times we have this conversation when we have coffee in the morning? We discuss why is it not the way it was yesterday, and we finally we realize that our neighbors, our beloved next door neighbors, also have the same conversation
All the
about
time?
the bean. Is it the beans? Is it the cream? Is it the temperature? Is it? So.
Yeah, that's the
that's
life. But well, if you are interested in experimenting with coffee, there's not many places better than Seoul to do that.
Yeah, really.
There's so many coffee
Yeah.
shops
And so many interesting flavors.
interesting flavors.
Like-
Yeah, but coffee is king here. Coffee is king.
Coffee is king.
Coffee is good.
Yeah, you thought it would. Wherever you thought it was, it's like here, and
Mm-hmm.
probably in Tokyo, also.
Oh.
Yeah.
And even my mom used to own a cafe.
Oh, seriously? And we
So-
just found out.
And she worked there. She was the owner of that cafe. And learned to just buy certain beans and try to experiment
Ah,
and
so-
make new menus.
Okay, so see, she's someone. She could be a resource for us.
Yeah, to figure this out. Like, what's it all about?
Wait, and I don't know if we're going to end soon, but somehow I just still want to also say, because it keeps coming to mind when you brought your mom into the conversation, I thought about your dad, and there's also a dad.
Yeah,
There's a connection with your
yeah,
dad.
He's my second. I always tell people, like, since I have such a deep connection with my dad, since he was like a person I always go to if I have something in my mind. Sam is also one of the person I always talk to if I want to be relieved about my thoughts, because Sam never says that's a bad idea. You should not do that.
Right. Was that how your dad was? He would support.
Always
Your-
support.
That's so cool. Yeah, I often think of that connection and that your dad was aware of Sam. You know,
Totally aware of Sam, and he was really happy that I got to have like a not just a light connection, but a deep connection with you.
I that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It really does.
Really?
Yeah, it does. I like knowing that, and and we both have the dad energy connection and the loss of dads in recent years. So it just makes me feel very grounded that he's part of the connection.
It feels good. I take that very seriously. I think of your dad a lot, even though he and I never met. I think of him a lot. And
Don't make me tear up. man.
Yeah, that's good.
That's okay. So, love for dad.
Love Dan.
Yeah.
So was your dad a girl dad?
Totally girl dad. And he was a journalist, by the way, but he was so busy, like entire of his life, but he never missed my graduation day and come over to take a picture and then go work.
Aww.
So I
so
have
cool.
all the pictures
Yeah.
of my birthday, and he always wrote me letters.
Ooh, I got
Yeah,
chills. That's so
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. No, that feels really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it. I feel like sometimes I channel him when I when we're talking or I envision myself in the world. I'll think about you and I'll think about your dad, and I'll like sometimes send a message to your dad like, hey, I'm watching for Soomin. I got it, man. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, no, because that feels good for me. It feels really, really good for me.
He sounds like a sweetheart. Can he be my dad too? Of course. Where are you? We are in Teasing place, Myeongdong, and we just had fabulous drinks and cake.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a fabulous conversation.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. It's
And
funny that it's live.
The problem is people tune in, so they're like, "Wait, who is this person?" So it's like
You have to be like
wait, but you're in television, so you gotta go. You go to commercial break. You gotta come back and say, "Hey, we're with Laurie Mulvey
We're live
and
with
Soomin Kim."
the amazing Soomin Kim.
Soomin is a friend in Korea who is our creative producer here in Korea. So, yeah, really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
So should
final thoughts.
Final thoughts?
Yeah. This is your first time doing a live stream.
Yeah, it's my first time. We're doing this very spontaneously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After having kalguksu in Korean, it's like a hand-cut noodles, and we just went into the store and Sam finished the whole. He
bowl.
drank all the broth.
Like-
And we had 3 bottles of beer, and we just came to some place to have dessert, and we just spontaneously went live. And this is my debut.
Just the beginning of a whole new world.
Yeah, you're so used to being on the other side of the
Other
camera.
side, right? Always taking care of the mics and not to be having this hair on the
in
mic.
there. I know.
Remember when we were doing the CJ program?
Uh-huh.
We started the program, so we were on stage and we were running. It wasn't live, but it was. There. How many cameras?
There
did
were
they say
like
there were?
there were
Did you say
like
200, or was that a different
No,
show?
that was a different show.
40?
There were like
no, there were like 20.
20 or something cameras. So we're on stage, the audience of we did this program called Now That We're Adults. Now That We're Adults. or adults.
That's our translation.
Yeah, what is the translation of that?
Now I think that's now that we are adults.
Okay.
So for a while it was quite a popular program here in Korea, and they asked Laurie and I to be on the program, to be like kind of
The presenter and
Present-
like to be the lecturer.
Yeah.
I think.
were we the
And
only
it was their
English-
10th anniversary.
the
Yeah,
10th
it was
anniversary
the 10th
show.
anniversary. And CJ, to give a bit of a more explanation, CJ is like the biggest commercial broadcasting station in Korea with all the entertainment programs. And there were also like lecture program as well. And you guys were the only internationals guests.
Whoever
speakers.
appeared on that?
No, not whoever, but this 10th
This
On the
season.
10th
this
year.
season.
Yeah.
So what were you
Yeah, it
saying
was
about
big.
it? No, the microphones.
Microphones.
No,
and
so
camera.
we're on. So we, we get out and it was crazy.
It was 3 hours on that
difficult.
stage,
3
wasn't
hours
it?
on stage, and I had a bladder infection. Yeah, wait, is that too much information? No, it's not. Whatever. Not for me, it's not. I had a bladder infection, so I'm like,
And no, and so you were like, wait, there's going to be a break, right? Because I'm going to have to just
I might have to
go to the bathroom.
Luckily, I was taking antibiotics. I was aware ahead of time, so I went to the hospital. I got some antibiotics, which I'd only taken once in my entire life.
Really?
I never have taken antibiotics. So I pounded antibiotics down and I got it mostly under control. But, you know, when you have a bladder infection, I feel like you gotta go to the bathroom every 15 minutes or so.
In your mind's
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
totally. And,
So-
and they were like, no, there's no breaks.
There's
And you
no
were
break.
like, oh my God, 3 hours on the stage.
You were saying like, I don't need the prompter, but I need to go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
But you did it.
I
But
pulled
your,
through.
your
but-
point
but
was,
so we got started, and suddenly I see there was a teleprompter in front where Soomin was in the back in the production room, typing
Telling us
notes
things.
to us, right? So we're following a script. We have people talking in our ears, and we had to have the Korean translated in our ears, and then we have the script that we're following, which wasn't really a script, but it was kind of like the points.
directions. Yeah.
Direction. And then Sumin's on this other teleprompter writing to us.
And writing notes to
Notes.
us.
It's
You
like
guys
tell
are
Laurie.
going too long.
Yeah, speed up. But Laurie's hair, you got to move Laurie's hair. So it's like, and I don't know,
Yeah.
is Laurie reading that? Am I reading? Because we're both facing this way, and so then I'm going, I'm moving the hair all the way, and finally. Somebody jumps up on stage and they're like, okay, we gotta completely redo this because microphones, they're just so sensitive. They don't seem sensitive, but for sound people, they are. Anyway, so that's why I was thinking of your microphone there. That was a cool experience, by the way. That was really a lot of fun.
That was.
Mm.
That wouldn't be what I would call fun. It was a lot of pressure.
It was a lot
but I
of
mean, no,
pressure,
for
man.
you, I can believe it would be fun. But it was, it was work.
It was a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of work, definitely. And it was the first time that you guys were showing your old photos.
Yeah.
I think that was also cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'll say that.
Yeah, because they had to know something about us.
But it was crazy because we wrote the talk, and then we got here and it was like, oh no, that's not going to be the talk. We were just like,
remember that?
You had to rewrite
Damn.
quite a lot of time.
We had
Yeah.
like 1 week.
yeah, and there was
We had a meeting
remember
with
that?
the production team and Soomin and Laurie and I. The three of us were sitting on one side of the table and they were on the other side of the table. And I'm just going, Soomin, what the hell?
Yeah, we had that one moment where we were like, I was like, I can't. There's no way I can rewrite it, just.
Can't do that.
But finally, Soomin, you helped in a big, huge way.
Yeah, man, you
I
pulled
don't
it
know.
through.
It's just
Remember, we were like 4 days away, and I'm like, Soomin, I
can't.
think we might have to cancel. Really.
And I was like, whoa, we can't do that.
Yeah.
No, you definitely
Yeah, there was
pulled
a
it
lot.
through.
And then there was a huge audience, right?
Yeah,
like,
it was a huge audience.
yeah, they just kept packing chairs in and packing chairs. Like, yeah, I felt when I heard that, when I realized that, because sometimes, you do things like that and you don't know who's going to show up. It was a Sunday morning, right?
It was a Sunday morning,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't know who's going to
Really
show up.
early.
But they had to bring in all the extra chairs and like force people together. When that happens, I'm on my game. I'm
That's-
like,
yeah, that does-
there's
that
empty
energizes
seats.
you.
I'm like, yeah, okay, this isn't that big of a deal. But the fact that they maybe had like 100 extra people in the studio audience, instead of like 200, there were 300, and it was packed. For
they had
me,
to
that was
sit
the
there
best. People were right up next to the stage. People were everywhere. Like you couldn't move. And
Yeah, there was energy. There was good energy there.
really intense energy. Yeah, that was the best part of it.
Yeah,
actually.
the energy, I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah, that was cool.
And even they didn't have enough receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So people that spoke some English had to just
Just
figure it out. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
there,
Well, anyway, listen.
This has been
Are there
really
any other
great.
questions that we got to answer real fast?
real fast. Laurie, when did you meet Sam?
Like the year?
Yeah.
1986.
1986, okay?
Yep,
And,
yep.
Whoa, January of 1980. No.
Yeah, January.
Yeah, January.
Yeah.
when did Sam get his ear pierced?
Multiple times.
First time was when I was 18. I was playing in a rock and roll band, and I shaved my head.
You shaved your head?
Yeah, I shaved my head. I had like a real short. I mean, it was really just like half a centimeter, and I got an earring. I don't know why I got an earring. I don't know why. I just thought it was cool. But back then, if you had it in the left ear, if you had it in the right ear, it meant you were gay. If you had it in the left ear, it was just you were cool.
You were straight.
You were like a
Gay versus cool. Gay versus straight.
yeah. Gay versus cool, yeah. Well, if you're gay, you're automatically cool.
Yeah,
But
right.
if you're anyway, so I remember had to really check that because this was back in the day when you can't just get online and be like, hey, what is it, right or left or whatever. So anyway, unless I knew that, I just got my ear pierced. I
Yeah,
had
but
no
then you
idea
stopped.
why.
Then you stopped wearing it, and when you and I met, somehow we started talking about earrings. I don't know why, and I was like, "Oh, you should wear your earring."
Because
And
my
then-
professor, when I went off to study for my PhD, my professor said, listen, you're going to run into a lot of people. You want an academic career, and you want people to take you seriously.
This is just the kind of professor you were talking about.
yeah.
You're in your PhD.
Like, you need to remove your earring.
Probably should think about getting. He never told me to get rid of it, but he said you might want to think about not wearing the earring.
So you
because
did.
People will judge you. I'm like, okay, so I took it out.
Do you have any idea how we got to talking about that?
I don't remember how we did, but I remember saying, "Oh yeah, I have an earring." And you were like, "What?"
How come you're not wearing
And then
it?
the next time you saw me, I had my earring in.
Yeah.
And then I got a second earring.
No, we got the other earring when
Then we got an earring.
we
together.
got them pierced together. His mom brought us to the mall, and we both got our ears pierced.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I got this one first. And then, so I had two like this, and then we got the second one, which became like our kind of like engagement
type.
ring. I still wear it. Laurie wears
Yeah,
hers.
mine's now a ring.
Oh.
It's two overlapping symbols.
And it's the meaning I know.
It's the
Eternity.
Yeah,
Venn.
the
Yeah, it's the
Venn.
Venn diagram. I
So they had that, and no, but first I went down to Mexico, and I almost died in Mexico.
oh my God, that's
Well,
a
I
whole
mean,
other story.
It's a whole different story,
Uh-huh.
man. I had an appendix attack, and I almost died, and I got these two cuffs, one for entering the hospital and one for successfully leaving it. So I had
Seriously?
two.
I
Uh-huh.
never heard that before.
Yeah.
You have
That's
all
why I got
the
them.
meanings in your earrings?
I
Yeah.
never
And then I
heard that.
I had them remade as silver because they weren't silver. I bought them from a jewelry vendor outside the hospital, and then
I had no idea
had
about
them
that.
remade in silver. And then I got a third one just because well, I might lose one, so let me have a third one. And then I just started wearing that. And then I got this earring, and then this one right here. See that? Laurie and I just got that last January in Miami.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got it in honor of Laurie, of us both being 60.
Oh.
Is that why we got it?
I don't know.
I don't know
I thought
why.
it was.
I have no.
So I have 3 in this year and 5 in this year.
I had no idea that was what those meant to you.
Successfully
Yeah.
leaving hospital.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, I almost
celebration.
died, man. It's a crazy story.
Yeah, that's
Someday
a
I'll tell
whole
it.
dedicated story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't-
not. You can't tell it now.
I can't believe I'm still alive, actually.
He's gonna
Thanks
slide
for
into
being
the.
alive.
Yeah. Thanks for being alive, Sam.
Yeah, remember when I called you from Mexico?
Yes. See what I mean? We're gonna start
Yeah.
telling the story.
No, I'm not gonna tell the story. I can't tell the story. I'll tell it sometime.
Yeah,
on the
you really
screen,
need.
but
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I just got out of the hospital. They're like, what? But we weren't boyfriend girlfriend. Or
be. No, we kind of were by that point.
we kinda
I was
were.
coming to visit you.
Oh yeah, you were. Okay, I guess that's kind of boyfriend girlfriend. All right.
No, you said I just had surgery, and I was like, what? And you hardly. I mean, it wasn't easy to talk to somebody in another country at that time, so it was like, what? Anyway, then the story
Yeah,
goes from
crazy.
there.
And you also brought up a really funny topic of kind of being a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I
a
kind of
whole.
was your girlfriend.
That's a rabbit
I'm
hole
like,
right
"Ah,
there.
Yeah, okay. I guess you kind of were. Here's the only little thing that I'm going to say, and then I'm not going to say anymore. the surgery happened at one of the poorest hospitals in the poorest neighborhoods in Mexico City in 1986.
Oh.
Okay. If you can only begin to imagine what that might be. Right? Yeah. Crazy. One of the best experiences of my life, though. Because I got 3 earrings.
Yeah, right.
Best experience, definitely.
Well, that's those experiences that make us who we are.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Especially
so-
when we survive them.
yeah. I guess if I didn't survive, then okay. All right, so listen. Anyway, Soomin, thanks for. Are there any other questions? Are we good?
Thank you so much for reading the comments, Soomin. Soomin seems like professional streamer. Thank you so much.
She is a professional.
man.
All
She's
things
a
communication.
By the way, this woman is a very well-regarded producer here in Korea, and
Yeah, we're lucky
so
to
she
spend
can't
time
say
together.
that, and you can't because she's Korean. She can't say that, but everyone who meets her, everyone who I talk to about Soomin has amazing things to say. She's done great work, and she's very cool, and she's our friend.
And we can't wait to see like what you're gonna do in the world.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just really just the
And what
beginning.
we're gonna do.
And
Yeah.
also maybe some more collaboration, not just in Korea, but also in the US as well.
Yeah,
maybe I could
yeah,
visit
yeah.
your
Yeah.
university.
No, next time you
no,
come, you have
definitely.
to.
No, you're
I'm gonna
going
talk-
to.
I'm
I'm
gonna,
going to.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
gonna be talking to your boss, and who we're gonna meet in a couple days. Your
Or-
bosses.
yeah.
Let them know that next time Soomin's in the U.S., you gotta come to Penn State.
Definitely.
Maybe we could do a class related to like all the cultures and everything.
We could relate to gaming. To
Oh.
He just had the moment of
Yeah.
had an
I have an
idea.
idea. That's exactly it. That's exactly
because
the
that's on my
moment.
list of possible
That was
topics.
good,
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
Gaming and gamers.
That's great.
But I've never done it. I tried to do it.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Whoa.
Start-
Okay, that'll be the topic.
Yeah. See that? You too.
We have an idea. Let's make another version
Yes,
of the vision.
exactly.
We'll do it in Korean. Can you do it in Korean?
Yeah,
We'll do it in
of course.
Korean.
Oh,
Then I'll wear
that's
that.
awesome.
That's another great idea.
Dude.
Whoa. And also make a emoticon.
Yes.
Can we do the Sam Richards emoticons? Do you know someone who could do that?
I mean, we could find it. I could find it.
Let's find someone. I want to have like a set of about 8 of them. All right.
And definitely one saying, "I have an idea."
Exactly.
That should be the
God.
first one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then can we get them up on Cal Talk?
Uh-huh.
Can we do that? Do you have to pay for that?
We have to pay. I will try to find.
You find out. Let's do it. I
Oh,
want to
that's
have my
fun.
own emoticons. See, this is the thing. Like, people don't understand. People don't understand that I don't want to be famous. I really don't. I just want ideas, and I want to share. They're more fun when I put them out in the world. Like, I don't really. Can you?
No,
You
this is
get
true.
that.
This is true.
I have
Yep.
no desire to.
You
be
just
famous.
love to play with technology
Play
and
technology
gaming.
and-
Not gaming, but like you make it into a game.
So emoticons. So here, in.
Okay,
in
wait.
a-
Just we're not gonna have this part of the
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah, so, yeah.
You'll reveal
Like,
it another time.
okay. Okay, listen. Any other questions we gotta answer?
Are you in Korea? Yes, we are in Korea.
Yeah, we're in Seoul.
Where is the Sam Laurie food channel? Where you tell us all the best places to go.
Best places to go in Korea?
Go and eat.
Dude, anywhere you go here in Korea.
But
that-
try not to go to only Instagrammable food places.
yeah,
but-
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You don't have
No.
to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Every restaurant is amazing. Like, oh my god. Wait, don't you think? Okay.
Out of
Amazing.
control.
I like all food. There aren't many foods that.
Remember that place where we had the best pancake that I will probably ever have?
Yeah, that
the
was
Korean
pretty good.
pancakes. That was
Yeah.
like a no-name, just I don't even know, right? It was
You're
just
right. It
just
was just a
walked in.
hole in the wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was the best. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't even know where it is. I mean, I
Yeah.
do know where the neighborhood is, but anyway, yeah. There's just so much. You have to just try.
Yeah, you don't need to follow anything on Instagram. You just come here, you start walking around, and you go into some place, and you
And somebody will put food
you
in
go
front of you,
"Damn,
and
that
you'll
was
feel
good."
right.
And the reason you see so many things on Instagram, like restaurants and stuff, is because everyone goes to different restaurants. There's like thousands and thousands and thousands, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think that's the
Is
question.
that it?
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody. We're gonna sign off and peace.
Arts.
K.
What's K? You're doing the K
K.
as well.
K. Yeah. Wait, hey, you have to do this. You guys have to do your hands over me, like the heart thing over me.
Heart.
All
Into
right.
some place.
Yeah. Okay. See you all.
Bye.
Ciao.
Good night. Good morning.
The X in the upper left. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.